Good morning. This is the final response for Domain 2D and E. And this time, as I listened to your videos, I thought about and read through what a distinguished and proficient classroom looks like when we're doing evaluations, what we would see. And so one of you talked about the importance of knowing your students and how that helps you to know their intentions and maybe what their responses would be to certain things happening in the classroom. So the teacher is planning ahead and preparing for how students maybe deal with transition time, or what happens when students bring in past experiences to relate to what's going on with the curriculum at the time. You know, it's important that teachers are prepared and have an idea, because of the relationships that they have with students, how other students are going to react to each other during those times. Teachers have to be prepared for students' reactions in order to head off conflict, you know, as they're moving around the classroom or listening to what other students have to say. The key thing is those relationships that you all talked about. It helps teachers to foresee reactions and then to head things off. So relationships help teachers effectively manage their classroom. I noticed in the evaluation piece that a proficient teacher sets the clear standards and they're alert to the students' behaviors and they respond appropriately with dignity. And one of you talked about that being the key. I think it was Billy, you reminded us that discipline and correction should be done in a respectful way in which their dignity is not undermined. So when we observe a classroom, this is what we should see. A distinguished classroom has behaviors that lead students to help actually manage the student behavior. And this is seen when students participate in creating the expectations and the students participating in correcting or redirecting their peers. Modeling the expected behaviors that a teacher has is important. And you know, when conflict occurs in the classroom, when you talked about how when we model, or when the teacher models how to respond to conflict, because we obviously are going to have our own conflicts in the class, the students can see that, and how the teacher responds is a model for those students to know what is going to be expected of them when they have conflict. Positive reinforcement and correction should be immediate always. I thought about positive behavioral interventions and supports. That's what we have in our district, PBIS. And it just is a piece that we use as students move from Tier 1, 2, and 3, where we recognize where they are and they move. We provide our information to administrators through this as far as what behaviors are happening in our classroom. And it's also a place for us to provide positive reinforcements. Room organization should be thought out and ensuring always that it aligns to the class expectations, and our procedures are very important to consider when we create our classroom environment. And everything should be set up for student success. A proficient teacher skillfully uses the resources that they have to create a safe atmosphere so that students have full and ease of access to everything. Teachers who expect students to assist with making the class accessible when needed, that's when we see a transition to a distinguished teacher. Everyone in the classroom is participating in adjusting the classroom, keeping in mind safety and the needs of everyone. This is when you know that a teacher has mastered organizing their physical space. Thank you.